TaToH, and we have FreakinAndy. Right? Let's also change the flags. We have Austria for FreakinAndy. We have Spain for TaToH. TaToH was an invited player to the tournament over here, so very similar to what we saw with Jordan versus Valles. This could be the case that... Okay, let me actually move this over here. It could be the case that... Best of 5. That the invited player struggles versus the qualified player. We're gonna have to switch colors though. I'm not really sure exactly what to go for. FreakinAndy has been playing orange for a very long time. TaToH, I guess we're probably just going to have him in red. Yeah. In blue, rather. I think this is probably okay. FreakinAndy in orange and TaToH in blue. Last 30 years. Thank you. I'm actually going to take notes of that so that I don't forget. Anything like specifically that I should be reading about, or just like scandals or plots? Regardless though, what do we get for game number 1? TaToH is playing with Dravidians, FreakinAndy is playing with Byzantines. And Dravidian is actually a very curious choice over here because it's not a civilization that we have seen a lot of in this tournament. And I'm actually going to take a look at the spectator dashboard to see how popular the civilization has been. I think yesterday we took a look at it a little bit during the best of 33. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Dravidians were a top civilization for any of the Wallhalla maps. And I'm just taking a look at it. Yeah, and they have not been a top 5 civilizations for any of these maps. They're not particularly popular. Just that a lot of Japanese royals, women in particular, have opted out of the line of succession because they do not want the attention of the confines of royalty. Has become a real issue. Well, yeah, for those people, I would imagine. Yeah, I understand that. Hopefully it's not too hard to do, because if you want to break out of it and then you're not allowed to, that's... Like, if you're forced into continuing the lineage, that'll be bad for sure. Alright, so Dravidians then, for TaToH. Pretty curious as to what we'll get. It seems to me like... And let me take a look at the civilization draft over here. Ah, Poles were not banned. TaToH has picked Poles for his draft, but it's just to go for Dravidians over here, which I do find very interesting. Because if Poles are available and TaToH's got it, he's gotten access to them, he could have chosen Poles over here, which has been a very popular civilization on this map, and go for it, try to put pressure. But by playing with Dravidians over here, he would still have the possibility of going forward and putting pressure with towers because of the extra resources he gets by getting up to the next stage. But he's gonna go up to the castle age instead, and so will FreakinAndy, so you gotta wonder what is TaToH's plan over here. In FreakinAndy, well, he's playing with Byzantines, so he'll just play for the later stages in the game for sure. Easy. I'm confused by the Dravidian's approach. I am too as well, and I am not too sure exactly what TaToH's going to do. You know, Dravidians get extra wood. They have a discount on barracks upgrades, but none of that's going to be actually useful to TaToH at all. As a matter of fact, it's going out to the fuel age on 23 villagers, which is standard, and is not. It doesn't seem like it's going to take advantage of the extra wood to go up faster with a little bit of a lower population. Instead, he could probably utilize the extra wood to go for extra TCs in the castle age, I guess. But yeah, then besides that, what do we have for Dravidians? They get faster attacking elephant archers and skirmishers, if I'm not mistaken, right? Let me check. For Dravidians, yeah, skirmishers, elephant archers attack faster. Barrack technologies cost 50% less, which we already talked about. And then fishermen and fishing ships can carry extra resources, but that none of that's going to be relevant over here. Then for the unique technologies as well, Dravidian's gonna have medical corps and What is the name of the Imperial H1? Wood steel, right? Yeah, and it doesn't seem like either of those technologies is going to do anything for him. On this matchup, on this map, I'm so confused. FreakinAndy is going out to the castle and so is TaToH. I guess we're going to find out. But yeah, beyond just going for maybe 4 TCs, I do not really know what playing Dravidians is given TaToH. Seems like an interesting pick. TaToH special, yeah. Yeah, I have no idea. We're going to find out. So if he utilizes Dravidians over here and FreakinAndy is utilizing Byzantines, then for game number 2, if TaToH wins, FreakinAndy is going to have either Fortress or Fortify Clearing to choose as his maps, right? In TaToH, if he loses, game number 2 is going to take place either in Jungle Rumble or the Wall. I guess Rumi Swordsmen do bad against Cataphracts? Yeah. Yeah, they do. They should do pretty poorly. So yeah, the unique unit's not going to be it either. I have no idea. That's good. It's an opportunity to learn. And there we go. Castle is here for both players at about the same time. How about the Gurjaras Castle tune to throw in the Chakram thrower? I don't think we have Gurjaras for this one. Oh yeah, that one? That could do well actually. Yeah. That could do well. Chakram throwers, if you get a nice choke point. That prevents you from taking too much damage as well. They're pretty fast as well. They're not crazy fast, but they are pretty decent. So TaToH gets to the castle age. We see the second TC and the third TC on the way, as well as the monastery. So he's going already for the monks. Check this out as well. No market usage whatsoever from TaToH. Just FreakinAndy, the only player to make use of the market to sell 200 food, get some extra gold. And this might be a little bit of a struggle though. 49 food currently for FreakinAndy. He's got 3 TCs already up and he doesn't have anywhere near enough food workers to sustain production of all 3 TCs. So now he'll only be able to produce. Yeah, he's going for a loom as well, not to keep the TCs idle. So this is a little bit better because TaToH is not going to be under so much. Like his economy is not going to be under that much pressure, right? He does have 2 TCs working full time. He's got wheelbarrow on the way from the 3rd TC. And that's about it. His food situation is significantly better right now compared to FreakinAndy's as well. Plus, okay, so this is good. He's gone for Boso and Hairy Plow, and so has FreakinAndy. But these things, they do come a little bit easier to TaToH, who's going to get, by the time he gets to the castle age, 400 extra wood compared to FreakinAndy, so it's understandable, right? It's allowed him to go for extra farms. It's allowed him to go for wheelbarrow. Now FreakinAndy's trying to catch up. Yeah, and so far, no huge leads or anything from TaToH. Well, he was also able to go for the monastery, right? So this is a civilization that's going to allow you to get this up, to get this set up, whilst other civilizations are going to struggle a little bit more to, yeah, to get their stuff set up, if you're going to want to go for relics and whatnot. In TaToH also has done a good job scouting around, so he knows about the TC from FreakinAndy, and he knows about the relic over here, so he can send the monk around the TC, straight into the relic, and the only relic that he still has not found out about is this one on the right-hand side. Oh, he knows! Wait a moment. Oh, it's this one down the south that he hasn't really... Oh, man, that is so close. That's just one tile too far. Dravidian camels with wood steel to overwhelm an early imp with chip blacksmith upgrades. I'm not really sure. Cheap blacksmith upgrades. What do you mean? But yeah, wood steel camels could be good, I guess. Extra melee armor. The problem with those things though is that it's not really going to help against monks. It's not really going to help against pikemen. There is of course a possibility for... Oh, it seems like the monk went down over here from TaToH. To the scout from FreakinAndy and the scout went down from FreakinAndy to the scout from TaToH eventually. But yeah, and once again the problem is that we have 25% cheaper spearline units for FreakinAndy, right? And wood steel is not really going to do anything against that. As counter units are going to work usually around the bonus damage more so than the base stat. No camels for Dravidians. Alright. Wait, what am I thinking of? Wood steel is for elephants and... Let me check. It's for cavalry and infantry, right? These new civilizations still keep confusing me. Still haven't gotten used to them all. You are correct. Yeah, so infantry and cavalry attack ignores armor. So I confused this actually with a different technology. Which gives the camels and elephant units extra armor, actually. Now I'm trying to remember what's the name of that one. Frontier guards from Gurjaras, I think. Yeah. Boy. It's been already, what, 2 months or so? And the new civilizations are still making a soup in my head. Keep on mixing them up. I remember this is very similar to what happened to Lords of the West as well. With the new civilizations being so hard to distinguish and to remember. Yeah, the unique technologies for the unique units as well, right? Not Lords of the West, actually. The new civilizations that came with the... Crazy economy for TaToH. Looks really solid. Yeah, it's good. It's not that much stronger compared to FreakinAndy. I mean, the resources he's collected, they are looking great. Especially as FreakinAndy ended up going for the 4th DC. Right, so he'll probably be the first player to click out to the Imperial Age. But in terms of upgrades, in terms of villager distribution, it's pretty similar. And FreakinAndy, if he wanted to go up to the Imperial Age himself, he should be able to do it fairly soon. He's not going to have to wait too much. But TaToH's beaten him to the punch already, so that's very interesting to see. Nice pick from FreakinAndy. Oh, TaToH gets the villager. Safe. And yeah, FreakinAndy is not thinking of going up to the Imperial Age at all. He's got archer ranges coming up and just gonna keep on queuing up all the TC. So he will get a hit significantly in villager count compared to TaToH, but he will be significant later to the Imperial Age. Though he's using the market right now. Go figure. He's been making use of the market the most from both these players, I think. Kind of. Both players have been utilizing the market quite heavily, but yeah. FreakinAndy is on his way to the Imperial Age now, finally, as well, and TaToH will be there significantly sooner. How much sooner? He's got 1 minute and 43 or so seconds of a head start to it. FreakinAndy's got a redemption, ended up pushing TaToH away. TC's coming in for TaToH. He's managed to get the castle up while FreakinAndy is lagging a little bit behind. So you can see over here the difference, right? The extra resources allows TaToH they allow TaToH to get a hit a little bit sooner, right? So there's going to be like a 2 minute, like a minute and a half to 2 minute delay between what TaToH is doing and when FreakinAndy is going to be able to go for the same thing. So the Imperial Age is coming up faster for TaToH. He's been the first player trying to go for the relics. He was able to get the monastery up earlier. He gets the castle up significantly sooner over here as well, and FreakinAndy will be able to eventually go for the castle himself as well, but there's just going to be this delay between both these players because of TaToH's extra resources. So he's going for one Urumi swords, man. Conscription, chemistry is coming in for TaToH now. There we go. The cast is on the way now for FreakinAndy on the hill. In only about 15 seconds, he'll be in the Imperial Age as well. He'll be able to catch up to TaToH in terms of economy. And so far, TaToH has stayed competitive overall in score, but that's not going to be the case as FreakinAndy gets to the Imperial Age. He starts pulling a significant lead already. I wonder which skirmishers are better, cost efficient. Well, that should be Byzantines. For sure. I don't think there's anything special about... I mean, they attack 15% faster. But then we have a 25% discount on the skirmishers from FreakinAndy. So... pound per pound, FreakinAndy is going to have significantly cheaper skirmishers. And Dravidians, on the other hand, these are going to be a little bit stronger. I guess, ultimately, if you're able to get to 200 population, and you're able to just stick there, the skirmishers are going to be better the ones with the better stats. So TaToHs are going to be better, even if FreakinAndys are more cost effective. Oh, 25% faster attack, rather. Yes. That's my bad. What am I thinking of? 15% faster what? I guess the TaToH did the math? Yeah. Well, with 25% faster attack speed, I am liking the Dravidian skirmishers better. Even if FreakinAndy skirmishers are cheaper over here, you're usually just going to, you know, Oh, wait a moment though! Through the center! TaToH's coming in with the onagers. Good reaction from FreakinAndy and good awareness as well. He already had an outpost at the center and he was going for a tower over here as he got pushed away by the onager. And TaToH's able to chop through still. He'll come in and FreakinAndy will. Can he defend himself? He's getting to 200 population. He's got Theocracy and Illumination coming up, which I don't think he needs right now, given the army composition from TaToH. And then he's going for Bar Cannons to try and take on the skirmishers over here from TaToH. Yeah, I would imagine maybe TaToH already did the math, and then he's just gonna go for full skirmisher play. Very interesting. He was probably expecting FreakinAndy to make a play for Byzantines over here, given the civilizations that were available to the Austrian player. And he decided to go for Dravidian, specifically to go for a late game skirm push. Urumi Swordsman coming out though for TaToH. Coming right in. This is... Oh, it's open still. Hold on. This is a very interesting unit as well. As FreakinAndy is going to start going for Cataphracts. Your question about Urumi versus Cataphracts is probably going to get answered very soon. I'm very curious as to how it's going to go. I'm still putting my money on the Cataphracts for sure, but yeah, we won't know for sure until we actually see. defense. And TaToH is not gonna keep on going for too many swordsmen anymore. Well, FreakinAndy. Yeah, FreakinAndy's going for Iron Casting now. And he's already managed to get some cataphracts. He does not really want to come in, though. Those Rumi swordsmen were coming out of the castle, and he doesn't really have the means to take the castle down right now. He can try to be aggressive against the villagers over here, but he'll end up losing the cataphracts for sure to the castle, and this kind of wastes the resources a little bit. TaToH probably doesn't really care about these villagers over here either. He had the Midal, and he can just very easily go for a few more. So I'm actually liking TaToH's position over here better despite him losing the villagers. However, at the center though, he does manage to come in with a second wave of skirmishers, whilst on the left-hand side, we have an engagement over here coming up, and FreakinAndy does have a military lead over here. So while TaToH was splitting his army up to push on two fronts at the same time, FreakinAndy is kind of focusing on one side at a time, but that is not good unit control though. Two bombard cannons going down right away from FreakinAndy to TaToH's bombard cannon and skirmishers even. Will really put FreakinAndy in an awkward spot, as his unit control is not right now strong enough to take on TaToH. Or at the very least doesn't seem to be taking two good engagements, right? And TaToH's gonna try and keep this open. He's going for a gate. But he's not really going for any Rumi swordsmen. He does have barracks coming up over here though, so it seems like it's gonna be pikes. Well, with wood steel, these halberdier all of a sudden look a lot more threatening. They ignore armor, so if you get blast furnace over here, that's going to be full attack straight through armor from his opponent, right? So pretty strong halberdier and pretty strong skirmishers over here, while TaToH still has plenty of gold to get through. He doesn't need it if he's just going to go for trash units, and he's actually beaten Byzantines at their own game with full trash play over here. This is really good. I guess this was the plan all along from TaToH. Well done. This is a very strong strategy. At the very least, if you know you're going to be facing Byzantines and you know you're going to have stronger trash, right? That's the way to go for it. So TaToH just finished researching wood steel, and that'll make cavalry and infantry units ignore armor. So now TaToH with blast furnace, plate mail armor, is going to have incredibly strong halberdier that he was trying to go for on the right hand side, but won't really be able to make use of until he's able to break through. This is very low HP though, kind of. Not really. It was just a foundation state. But the petard's coming up. He still needs another one. He's coming in. And FreakinAndy was in the villages over there trying to get the walls up, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna be on time. So TaToH should be able to come in. Let's see if he's paying attention. Holy crap, that is a very strong fortification though. How on earth is this fortified wall still up after 2 petards when it was at like 1/3 HP or so? Regardless though, the halberdier do end up breaking through and they're coming in. And yo, Rosa! Hi, welcome back. Hope you're doing alright. Welcome. Yeah, and this is really good. Once again, as long as TaToH is able to stay at 200 pop or so, halberdier will be stronger. Significantly stronger compared to anything that FreakinAndy's got access to. Even if it's cheaper halberdier for FreakinAndy, he does not get blast furnace. And yeah, half on half is just going to go in favor of TaToH by quite a lot. 10 attack on these units is already pretty darn strong if you ask me. Yeah, I mean, take a look at the house over here. It's taking 10 damage at a time for a halberdier despite having some melee armor. Hey, B. Hi. Welcome back as well. Hope you guys are doing alright. Kind of sad that we did not have the 2 series that I was kind of hoping for today, but still. The series seems like it's going to be pretty good if TaToH is going to keep on playing like this. Bombard cannons going down from FreakinAndy to the skirmishers. Certainly not going to be the best trade for him. Yeah, and we do need some villagers to move on from TaToH on the right hand side so that he can get some barracks up. So finally a better trash sales than Byzantines? Well, it seems to be the case so far. I hadn't realized about the potential for Dravidians over here until this game, and TaToH is certainly showing it. Thank you, hope you're doing well as well. I'm doing great, yes, thank you. I'm so much looking forward to so many things, it's ridiculous. By the way, why don't we have the chat over there? Now we do. Sorry about that. One of the things that I'm looking the most forward to, or I'm looking forward the most to, rather, is the audio interface. I was taking a look at some prices yesterday, and I found a pretty darn good one for 220. So we're kind of close, actually, just $70 away from that one. And that's gonna be so good. I do plan on working some magic for YouTube with that one. Fingers crossed. There we go. Good defense for TaToH. And good defense for FreakinAndy as well. He's been able to hold on the left-hand side for a very long time. He's been able to stabilize at the center as well, even if TaToH is coming in. Two trebuchets from TaToH, the bombard cannon is coming out, and we still have the siege elephant. Whilst on the right-hand side instead, we have the halberdier coming up, and the trebuchet's there as well. One big problem that we had for TaToH before was simply the fact that he didn't quite... How do we say that? His population was completely maxed out, right? He wasn't 200 population, but his army distribution was not the best. Now that he's finally been able to go for a few extra siege weapons, right? With the trebuchets at the center and then on the right-hand side. And a few halberdier to defend the siege with. That's put TaToH in a much better position. Now FreakinAndy is struggling to defend himself a little bit more. It's good though, with the bombard cannons, he's taking on the trebuchets, he's taking on the onager over here. He'll be able to stabilize at the center once again. Now the right-hand side's gonna be an issue though. FreakinAndy needs to bring the bombard cannons over the right-hand side to take on the trebuchets over here, or risk losing the castle. And it seems like he won't be able to bring the bombard cannons on time over here though. It seems like the castle is just going down right away. Most likely. Here we go. This is fantastic. TaToH with a lot of gold left. Yeah. He can go for anything he wants. Now he's gonna start taking into the militia line units, right? He's going for man-at-arms. Oh, siege elephants. Nice. He's got man-at-arms, he's got supplies, he's going for lone swords. Yeah, FreakinAndy on 200 population still. Got 21 cataphracts queued up. And this is very interesting. I guess with wood steel, maybe the Roman swordsman would do a lot better against cataphracts. It's not something that he's going for. Right now, he's just got halberdier and of course, lone swords queued up. There we go. Beautiful. Conversion coming up now from FreakinAndy. It's fine. The Trebuchet, actually, did we have a Trebuchet or was that a bombard cannon? I'm pretty sure that I saw a projectile hit the castle a moment ago. I think it might have gone down. From TaToH. I think it might have been a bombard cannon. I might have just seen wrong. But yeah, this is staying up for the time being. Oh, nice sneak though from TaToH. 2 barracks. Siege workshops coming up over here. I think FreakinAndy should know about this. Yeah. Because it's staying up for the time being. So if this transitions to a full trash war, TaToH should be in a better position as he's already gotten wood. Still, the halberdier is super strong. He's got 25% faster attacking skirmishers, which is going to be better than 25% cheaper skirmishers as long as he's able to stay on 200 population. Which shouldn't be too hard. He's got plenty of wood available. He's got plenty of wood and food available as well. Plenty of farms already. And we see TaToH going for medical corpse. Yeah, I don't know about this. I don't think it's going to do too much for him. I guess it's going to be good for the elephants, right? But it's only 20 HP per minute. And he's gotten champions now as well. So we'll see. He's still going for the most part for halberdier. I'm not really sure exactly which barracks he's queuing champions from. It seems like it's going to be some of these. Not all of them though. Oh yeah, all of them. Okay, never mind. He's already switched units. There just needs more siege elephants. He's been going for some, but it's been pretty difficult for him to keep those up. FreakinAndy's taking those down, even with skirmishes alone. Interestingly enough. So yeah, TaToH needs a way to defend the elephants as well. So they are an effective meat shield. It's so awkward, but yeah, he needs to defend the meat shield for it to actually work out. Siege elephants kill hussars. Is that so? Wow. Do you guys know if the elephants over here count as cavalry unit types? Because with wood steel, ignoring armor would be actually kind of big for this. Oh, okay, there we go. Thank you, LB. Wood steel does affect siege elephants. Okay, nice. That's exactly what I was wondering. Oh god, this is strong for TaToH. It's gotta go for a few more at the center as well, but once again, it's just the military distribution. It's a little bit of a struggle for TaToH. He's been on 200 population for the longest time this game. It's just that he struggles to get a few elephants on the right hand side and a bunch of military units and then a few elephants at the center and a bunch of extra army. He's usually only able to push on one side at a time because of it as well. Anti-outer goal. Yes, sir. Now it's just going to make a full transition to trash units. Speaking of gold, there's only one gold mine still available for TaToH to collect from, and he's not been collecting from this one at all, and he does not seem particularly interested in collecting from it. Although, to be fair, it seems like he's just now run out of whatever gold he was collecting from before, so he might end up going for it in the end. I just don't really know where the villagers were that he was collecting gold with, but yeah, okay, so he will go for this. He's still going to have 2400 left. Which is good, but if FreakinAndy is able to stabilize, or at the very least hold on against TaToH's push for about 5 more minutes or so, then TaToH is going to run out of gold himself as well, and it's just going to be a full-on trash war. We're getting close to an hour, both players. Close to 200 population. Yeah, and FreakinAndy's holding on really well. TaToH does have 4 relics, true. FreakinAndy's got just the 1. Correct. More elephants. And he's going for more as well. He's got 6. Where are the other elephants? He's got 4 on the right hand side, and then he's got 2 at the center. This is fine. He doesn't need too many. It's going to still be a pretty decent meat shield. He just needs good army around the elephants so that these do not go down instantly, right? Like this. He does not have enough over here. He's got some skirmishers. The champions are struggling to make it to the front lines as well. And then on the right hand side, we do have the elephants moving in, but they are taking so much damage. How many elephants have gone down trying to get the castle down on the right hand side? You know, it's been a pretty heavy losses. Now we see the Holiday moving over the right hand side as well. This castle might finally crumble. It's going to come down to the wire though. The Holiday are here, but there's 4 siege elephants trying to take on the castle. Good thing for FreakinAndy that he's gone for everything. He's got 40% extra HP on the castle already as is. And I am pretty sure that he's gotten some extra upgrades on top of that. But it seems like the castle's going down finally. He's gonna try and repair. He's got the villager over there. He does not have enough stone though. He's just trying to tank his... He's kind of bottoming his economy to get enough to buy extra stone and keep the castle up over here. So he's going for it still. Yeah. Extra castle finally going down the center for TaToH. Yeah, this is going to help the push, and it's going to prevent also FreakinAndy from getting to TaToH's side through the center. But, you know, FreakinAndy's been able to survive over here, and TaToH, he's not really queuing up any extra siege elephants over here, so doesn't see... Okay, so he's going for a few more right now. Is it from the right-hand side? Yes. Just once again, while being pop-capped over here, it's going to be pretty difficult for TaToH to properly distribute his military. It's not being quite as one-sided as I thought it was going to be at this stage of the game already. I thought TaToH was going to absolutely dominate, but it's a little bit of a struggle. You know, he can try and... Is he going to try and deny wood over here for FreakinAndy? That'd be interesting. FreakinAndy's managed to get close to 4,000 wood so far, while TaToH not even close. And this is while FreakinAndy still has gone for a few dozen of units already queued up, right? Okay. Yeah. Wow. TaToH's going for the next level strat. He's just gonna try to actually deny wood over here. Just got him with the onagers and going for extra towers. He already has gone for keep. So these are pretty good. Also, Dravidians, I'm not too sure if they get arrow slits. Let me take a look at this. Yeah, I'm not really sure the civilization gets arrow slits, but he has not gone for it if they do. Does anybody know if Dravidians get arrow slits? I could probably just take a look at the tech tree. 1 second. He gets arrow slits. He's just not gone for it. He does not get heated shot though. Here come the siege elephants once again. Not the correct build into target, mind you, but FreakinAndy's done a good job protecting the castle over here with extra walls. Yeah, and he's trying to get through the center. FreakinAndy's economy is not the strongest right now at 84 villagers. Actually, he does have a lot of wood still available. Not so much for food, but he does have a good amount of farmers, although TaToH's looking much stronger in that regard too. Yo, and check this out! Is the elephant actually targeting the castle through the corner? I think this might actually be the case. Yeah, he was targeting the castle. Oh boy, that's gotta be frustrating for FreakinAndy. Yeah, the castle's going down over here. No way! TaToH's taking the castle through the corner of the walls. Wow! He finally got it down. Still 200 population for both players though. Is there a time limit on the game? There is no time limit on the game, no. To speak of. That's just going to be the case for, well, actually, yeah, for the best of 33 that we were casting yesterday, so... And I guess probably also for the World Series of Empire Wars, right? Which we're probably going to take a look at in the later stages. Hey! Snape Snaps! Long time no siege! How are you doing, girl? Welcome back. 6 months already? Prime Gaming. Wait, it's been 6 months? I haven't realized. What are the rules for Wallhalla? Wallhalla, it's just going to consist of a map pool of closed maps. And then we have game number 1, played on a neutral map that's gonna be left after the players go for their home maps and their bans, right? And a civilization draft with 6 civilizations per player. No snipes. And then game number 2 is played on whoever lost game number 1's home map. Game number 3 is played on whoever won game number 1's home map. Game 4 on whoever lost game number 1's home map. And then game 5 on whichever home map's left, right? So, yeah. It's really interesting to see. If you take a look at the minimap, most of the blinking dots are around FreakinAndy's half of the map. Yet, he's still on 200 population, despite being on 80 villagers over here. And he's got a pretty strong queue for military as well, so he's going to end up cleaning this up probably. It's just going to take forever with skirmishers and halberdier. But he doesn't really have any momentum going. While TaToH, on the other hand, he's on a much stronger worker count, but he doesn't have anywhere near as much military, so this could be really good for FreakinAndy. At the very least, even if he's got a lower worker count, he does pay less for the skirmishers and the halberdier, so that also helps quite a bit. Yes, thank you, Kangeta. You can also do exclamation mark Wallhalla, and that gives you more information if you take a look at the Wikipedia page. Hope you're doing alright, Snape Snaps. Are you still in Canada, by the way? I remember you had moved, right, from Germany. I'm still thinking of where to move out when I eventually manage to get enough income to actually move out of Argentina. And yeah, I gotta be honest, I've been extremely tempted by the US, specifically New York, but it's expensive AF. 2-bedroom apartment, 1-bedroom apartment, pretty hard to find for less than 2,000. I have moved, so you're permanently moved to Canada, or is it still kind of temporary? Don't count to Canada in that case. It's so expensive. Oh yeah, I know. Honestly, like everywhere it's going to be so expensive. If I ever get enough to move out, it's probably going to be to go to Europe. Probably. I was taking a look, and in Germany, I saw that in Hamburg you can find like a 2-bedroom apartment for like 600 euros or so, which is already so much cheaper. New York sounds about as expensive as here. Yeah. It's pretty pricey. If I ever got to enough income to actually move over there, I would love to have at the very least the experience of living there for a year or two. I know it's not the most. I know it's not the smartest use of money, but hey, YOLO, right? Hamburg is really expensive. Is that so? I might have been lied to by the website that I checked on. You won't even get a room for 600 euros? I think I might have gotten misled then. New York City or state? Oh, city, definitely. Just want to have the experience of living in a massive city for 1 or 2 years. I know that I'm not really focusing on the game too much, but guys, you can see the same thing that I am showing you on stream, right? It's just kind of like a stagnant situation over here. FreakinAndy did go for a few extra villagers, so his economy is not quite as small as before. And TaToH still gets significantly outnumbered by FreakinAndy, and it just doesn't seem like we are going to be done with this game anytime soon. There's a bombard cannon for FreakinAndy. You can target the castle. Just gotta make sure not to take free damage. And as we said it earlier as well, TaToH's already run out of the neutral gold that we had on the left-hand side. It was just a matter of FreakinAndy holding on for 5 more minutes or so. Berlin's a bit cheaper. Oh, okay. It's expensive everywhere. Yeah, especially for an Argentinian. You guys know that I make ends meet on like $150 per month, right? I need to at the very least quintuple my income to even think of moving out of here. And everywhere sounds very expensive to me, to be fair, but Hamburg is more expensive for German standards. Smaller cities can be pretty okay though. Munich and Hamburg are really expensive. I pay 1,000 euros for 1-room apartment. Alright. get a whole flat for yourself for like 600 to 800 euros for some of the smaller cities. 900, 1000 for 2-room apartment like Cologne, Bonn, Düsseldorf, Dresden. You can get a room in a cool shared house for like 200 in Berlin though. Yeah, I thought about that too, potentially just getting a room. You know, I could just do it in stages. Could potentially, once I get enough to move out, I just go to Germany and share a flat with somebody, right? And just pay for the room. Then if I ever get more than that, I could do the same for New York. Who knows? But it's so much more expensive though. If you're okay with sharing for a bit, you can save a lot by doing that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I just want the experience of living in a big city at the very least once in my life. I pay 500 for 1-room apartment in Hamburg. It just depends. You need to search carefully. That sounds about right. To be fair, the apartments that I saw on this website in Germany, Hamburg, that you could find like for 500-600 euros, a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment. They look kind of crap though. Like you took a look at the pictures and they seem pretty old. Not in the best condition, so maybe there is some to that as well. What you want for your living standards. Which website was that? I don't remember. I just searched for rent in Germany because I tried to search on Remax and I didn't find anything. So I will have to Google it. Maybe we can do that in between the games. I would imagine the players are probably going to require a break between this one and the second game, given just how draining it must be to be playing this. It seems like we might be getting closer and closer to the end of the game though. FreakinAndy's military count, well, still higher compared to TaToH's, is starting to dwindle a little bit. And overall population for FreakinAndy is starting to dwindle a little bit, especially as TaToH brings the hub of the year forward and gets on the back of FreakinAndy's economy. If he finds some exposed economy over here, it's gonna be great. With wood steel, once again, these hub of the year are incredibly strong, and they're just going to get the villages down so quickly. Yeah, check this out. Yeah, not too much in terms of queued units for FreakinAndy either. Yeah, that is darn strong if you ask me. It's like a freaking knight. 10 attack right away. Yeah, it's almost like a knight. It seems we are getting closer though. FreakinAndy's got 36 villagers queued up. He's going up in economy. And TaToH's attempt to push FreakinAndy away from the wood line hasn't really worked out. FreakinAndy still has access to the right hand side and left hand side wood lines. And TaToH, of course, is still get access to plenty of extra resources himself, so the game could still keep on going for a little bit longer if FreakinAndy is ever able to get his economy up to snuff again, but right now, there is certainly momentum for TaToH. The writing seems to be on the wall and it's spelling bad news for FreakinAndy. Germany's big cities are nowhere near USA's big cities though. Yeah. It seemed like even for a pretty expensive city in Europe in general, except if you're talking about London perhaps, or even Madrid. For the most part, they seem to be significantly cheaper compared to the US. What I'm not really sure though is what the cost of living is in these different countries. There are some websites to check that, but I found that on those websites, the Argentinian cost of living is not particularly accurate, so I don't know how much to trust it. For instance, here in Argentina, you need about 300 to 400, actually, let's say dollars, right, to get a 1 to 2 bedroom apartment in the city that I live. I do not have to pay for rent because I live in an apartment rent-free that I inherited, but I do manage to make ends meet in terms of food and transportation, you know, and that kind of stuff for less than 200 for sure. I do not know if that would be the case in Germany or the US, that I will be able to, you know, eat for half the amount of the rent. So there's a lot of investigation still, research to do. Fortunately, I'm still too broke to go anywhere, so I have plenty of time to research stuff. And all of you to help me out as well. There we go. The cast is going down, I think. TaToH's got to be really careful over here. FreakinAndy's just been on the back foot for the longest time. I live in Paris. It isn't cheap. It isn't cheaper. Oh yeah, Paris, London. I think those are two of the most expensive cities in Europe. I think they are in the top 10 most expensive cities in the world or something. Alongside New York, Tokyo. Like if you want skyscrapers, either go to North America or Asia, like China, Japan, Singapore. I consider Asia as well. It was one of my dreams as a teenager. The experience of living in Japan for some time, or even Korea, but the time zone is pretty difficult. I would like to keep on streaming, of course, so I'll have to move to a place where it's actually possible for me to keep on doing so, even if I had to pick up on a part-time job or something. 39 villager queued and close to no military queue for Andy. Yeah, he's starting now to finally be able to go for more military units, now that he's got a little bit of a stronger economy to work with. So he's gone out to 98 villagers and he's got 76 farmers, right? So he can go for Hussar. Yeah, and once again, it's not really going to work out. At the very least, TaToH's halberdier should be significantly stronger compared to any other civilization's halberdier for the most part. And it's just going to make it significantly harder for FreakinAndy to make the Hussar play work over here. Props to FreakinAndy though, despite losing the castle over here and being on the verge of losing the game just a few minutes ago, he's been able to stay at close to 160 population or so with a pretty healthy military count, which is not easy to do in this position, especially when you're under so much pressure from TaToH. London is expensive like you won't believe. It's just really cool, but much harder to settle down there, much harder to integrate culturally, if not impossible. Right. Hey, Cold White. Hi, hi. One thing that I still need to do some research on is visas. I don't think you can just select any country you want and move to. The US, I know it's particularly hard to move to. Like, if I wanted to move there, I would need to either find a job beforehand and have a company like work the work visa for me, right, to be able to move in. I don't think like I can just move and then afterwards find a job, right? Because you can just get in with a tourism visa, maybe? I don't know. There's a lot of research still to do. And I guess it's going to be different depending on the country as well. Hey! The game is over, guys! FreakinAndy's military count has dropped down to less than 10. He cannot keep on going for more as he was going for military and economy at the same time. He struggles to keep production going, and TaToH does eventually end up taking game number 1. As FreakinAndy's armor finally cracks. We'll take a look at the achievements before hopping back out. And what do we have? FreakinAndy actually ended up getting a better KD over here. That's very interesting because he also had the cheaper units, so it was very cost effective for him. But once again, TaToH, it wasn't really so much about the cost effectiveness for him as much as it was about the power play of going for stronger units, even if he had to pay more. And as we were talking about earlier, as long as you're able to keep your population at 200, it doesn't matter if you pay more for your units, as long as they are stronger, right? They are going to be more pop efficient. So TaToH does end up coming out on top. Much stronger economy at the end of the game as well, with a much higher worker count. He ended up collecting close to 50,000 extra resources, more like 47,000 extra resources. And yeah, there we go. FreakinAndy's villager max count was higher than TaToH's, but in the end, spent more than 60% or so of the game on a much higher worker count compared to TaToH. So, well done! TaToH won, FreakinAndy nil. Let's go back and wait for game number 2. And we are in game number 2. Welcome, everyone. TaToH in the blue. FreakinAndy, we are going to keep an orange. To be fair, on this map, it's probably not the best to keep this player in orange, but since we already did it for game number 1, we are just going to keep the same colors for consistency. Fingers crossed, it's not going to be 2 hours long. Not that I am against long games, just that I do not really have too much time without any hats over here left. Just twitch things, right? Let's probably remove the range indicators as well for this game. So we're gonna have to wait quite a while before anything relevant happens. Bengalis, being the civil or having the strong unit they have from the castles, are gonna try to make a play for Rathas. They're gonna try to make a play for the Imperial Age and Rathas. While TaToH, on the other hand, he is probably gonna try to make a play for the Imperial Age with a strong economy because of Burgundians and into Costier, potentially bombard cannons. We're gonna see exactly what we get in not much longer from now. So yeah, they are so cool. The Rathas, they are. A king die, they lose. Yes, yes, that is correct. If the king dies, they lose. It kind of seems reckless to send the king out into the open like this, but in the Dark Age, if you take a look at a king and the scout, let me see if I can find the scout. He's got the scout garrison already. No, over here. You take a look at the king and the scout is actually slower than the king, so it's not really possible for... Yeah, it's not really possible for the scouts to take the king. Also, scouting with the king will allow them to collect the durables with the scout, and because they already begin with a castle, they can take both rhinos over here and then garrison the scout in the castle afterwards to heal it up. Yeah. And it's going to be the same situation for TaToH as well. I think he ended up collecting both rhinos already, right? Yes, sir. I mean, the range of castles, town halls. Yeah, that's very unlikely to happen. But technically, you could lose your king to the castle if you get ranged or the towers. But the reason it's unlikely to happen is because the kings are actually very high HP as well, 75 HP. So it takes a very slow reaction time for you to lose your king to a tower, let's say, for instance. Regardless, Fuel Age is coming up for FreakinAndy faster than TaToH. Since we were talking about cities and the world in general, I gotta wonder, where are you guys currently based and how satisfied are you with your current location? I'm going to start, okay? I'll be the first one. Let me stand up. Hi, everyone. I am Nova. I live in Salta, Argentina. And I am satisfied with my current location about somewhat. If I had to rate it from 1 to 10, I would say it's probably 6.5. Like, it's not bad. Definitely could be a lot worse. Within the country as well. But yeah, I would definitely like to move someplace else. Norway, I'm satisfied. Southern Norway. Nice, that's good. So yeah, if I just have to boil it down to satisfied or dissatisfied, it's not bad, but I would say FreakinAndy asks if we can get out. And TaToH is like, nope. You hit my king, man. Oh boy. The ultimate punishment for FreakinAndy. I would say dissatisfied, but not because the place is like awful. I would say that I just want to experience something better, right? I just want to experience the world a little bit, so it's mostly about me, not so much about the city. I think anyone can have a perfectly acceptable life in the city. You sure this year is the best time to pay Winter's power bill? Oh. I am so sorry, he says let me out. Yeah, TaToH's not going to... Yeah, FreakinAndy is going to the gate. He's just trying to bait TaToH into opening the gate, but TaToH's not having any of that. Rip. Well, FreakinAndy will be in the castle significantly sooner, so we'll see what he goes for. Probably just the extra TC. He's got enough to go for one extra TC, not so much to go for the second one. Donegal, Do you feel satisfied with your current location, Rosa? I would imagine Norway is one of the better places to be in. Cold White as well. So that certainly adds up. I am in London, been in the UK for about 5.5 years. Would love to own my house though. Oh yeah, that's something that I'll definitely miss quite a lot. Going out, it's going to be pretty hard for me to manage my current apartment from abroad, right? So I would have to either sell it or have somebody else manage it for me, and it'll be just kind of peanuts, I guess, what I could get for rent over here. And I'm very sure Argentina is not going to make it any easy for me to get any money out of the country. So yeah, I think I'm probably going to end up like selling this one, and I know, try to save to buy a different one elsewhere once I decide where I want to settle. But yeah, that's going to suck. Why sell? Rent it out? Yeah, I could. It's just that it'd be so hard to get the money out of the country. There are so many restrictions. Here we go. Second TC is on the way for FreakinAndy, but he doesn't really have enough resources to go for the third TC. He did go for the monastery though. So TaToH's going for his own monastery as well, and players will try to make a play for the relics. Who's got the closest relic? So we have one over here that FreakinAndy is going to have guaranteed, basically, as the TC's coming up, would make it impossible for TaToH's monk to collect this one. Then there is another one up in the north. And then on the right hand side we have two over here, kind of favoring TaToH, and this one's going to be in between both players. Hey, there we go. The Rathas are coming out for FreakinAndy. Just the one though. He's got it in melee mode. He's got to be careful over here. The new king will return to London, then officially UK will enter 10 days of mourning. What happens during those days of mourning? The currency, stamps and whatnot will have to change from queen to current king. Wow. They actually had to exchange all the bills, all the banknotes. I didn't know that. I guess it makes sense. I remember from like watching movies and playing games that usually in medieval times the coins would have the king's engraving. The way I understand it? Right. Yeah. I'm kind of curious as to what actually happens when you're mourning. Are the shops closed or something like that? New prime minister, new royalty. Right. The queen's lived so long though. How long has the queen been the queen, by the way? Because now the king seems to be pretty elderly himself. I kind of wonder if there's a possibility, right, that he might not be around for much longer. Who knows? 70 years. Yeah, I think that's a pretty strong legacy, and probably something that the new king is not gonna be able to match, obviously. What a waste, there are so many banknotes with dead people on it. Well, that's the case here in Argentina, and because of the inflation, they are making banknotes for larger amounts, and they're actually including animals now for local wildlife. Finally, the third TC is coming out for FreakinAndy. Meanwhile, TaToH, he's been on 3 TCs for a while, and he's got a 4 TC coming up as well. What's the inflation in Argentina? This year it's projected to be about 70%. Last year it was about 55% or so. So yeah, I can tell you a story. I went to the supermarket the other day. That's not so much of a story, but I went to the supermarket the other day to get groceries, right? And yeah, it's not good. It's not good. I went to get groceries, and I was checking the prices of everything. Things that about 10 years ago you would find for 7 pesos, Argentinian pesos, now are 140 pesos. From 10 years ago, it's gone up 20-fold. We're freaking out over 89%. Oh yeah, that's going to add up in Argentina as well, so it's probably going to be even more. Because we are so reliant on international economies too, but like local currency is just gone to crap. And it's been the case since forever. So we are used to it. Now it's a little bit more severe compared to before. You were used to like 20, 30% per year. 70% is still pretty big, even for Argentinians. We are not used to it. Like for instance, just a couple months ago, alright, I would be able to make ends meet with about 20,000 pesos. That's enough to pay all the bills, and food, and transportation, and whatever you need. Medication, if you get sick. And today, just a few short months afterwards, 30,000 pesos, so 50% more, it's not enough.
Bonjour.
It's ridiculous. There are countries when they were getting salary twice per day, as you could not buy anything from morning salary due to hyperinflation. Yeah, I hope that we are not on the road to that. Inflation is something that Argentinians have learned to live with, and it's kind of just ingrained in the culture as well. You know, sometimes the merchants are going to increase prices just because you're expected the things to keep on going higher, even if there is no increased cost of manufacturing or whatever. But yeah, it's one of the reasons also why I want to move out. I feel like I'm the Titanic and I see the iceberg coming and I don't want to be here when it hits, you know? What do you plan for the future to save in that environment? Dollars, man. You can't save in pesos, it's just not good. Our currency is not good for saving at all. I have last day of exams tomorrow, so I'll say goodnight, enjoy your stream. See you another day. Yeah, sure thing. Go away. Thank you so much for stopping by. Even if shortly. We'll be back tomorrow, of course. I think 14 GMT, we are going to begin casting. There's going to be 4 sets tomorrow. Even if today there's just 1. This conversion from TaToH. He's gonna try and deny this. He won't be able to. Will he be able to, actually? The Custille over here will have to get past the Rathas. And there's a lot of villages over here, so the castle's coming up, even if it's taking a little bit of damage from the ramp. Imperial is gonna be here for FreakinAndy very soon. He's managed to stay kind of close in villager camp despite the fact that he took so much longer to get the 3rd TC up. He did go for the 4th TC. TaToH went for the 4th TC. TaToH's still ahead by about 5 villages right now. He's going up to the Imperial H as well. But yeah, FreakinAndy is getting the castle up over here, and that's going to effectively double his Ratha production rate. Or production potential, of course. It doesn't mean that he's going to be able to sustain production. But you know, TaToH's making it really difficult for FreakinAndy to get the castle up over here. He's getting conversions on the Rathas, and I think the castle might get denied. 90%, but less than half HP. Boy, oh boy, if the castle gets denied over there, that was so close. The castle comes up at half HP and with 2 ramps underneath it, plus the Custille to defend the ramps with against villagers. This castle is in trouble. You know, FreakinAndy might end up losing this, and without the 2nd castle, I'm not really sure FreakinAndy will be able to keep on going over here much longer. You know, Trebuchet is coming out for him. Cannot really afford to go for too much. He's got now the Trebuchet on the way. And he keeps the castle up just barely. So yeah, you're correct. People do try to buy a lot of dollars, but there are a lot of restrictions in the amount that you can get, and there are pretty steep taxes. So let's say the official exchange rate is 150 pesos to $1, right? There are some restrictions and there are a bunch of taxes, so that you end up paying about 250 pesos for $1. So if you want to save your money's worth, you cannot really do it. You can only save about 60% of your money's worth if you buy dollars as well. But it's better than facing 70% inflation, I guess. And then there is also a black market, and the rates are different there, but that's not something we discuss in public. Not something that I can say I will be involved in, of course. Chemistry's coming in now for TaToH. It takes significantly longer to get to the Imperial Age. He's got a tertiary shit coming out. And we are getting to a healthy amount of Rathas from FreakinAndy. You know, when I was a child, I always thought the black market was an actual place you went to buy illegal stuff. I didn't think it was necessarily black, but I thought it was an actual location. And he's on a roll. Right now, he's looking very strong. He's got a stronger population, albeit by a very small margin compared to TaToH, but the most important thing is the units he's gone for. Rathas are so strong. You need to get all the upgrades though, and these are not elite just yet. I don't think he's gone for pikes yet. I'm not talking about pikes as Pac-Man, but pike the unique upgrade, which is necessary for the Rathas to be fully upgraded. And he's still missing a few things. He does not have ring archer armor. And if he's ever to utilize these in melee mode, he's only now research forging, right? So he's kind of behind in that regard. Oh, scale Barden armor is coming out. It's going to add some, yeah, some cavalry into the mix. Meat shield, could be. TaToH on the other hand. Oh, good reaction over here. Takes on the Rathas on the left-hand side to protect the stone miners. He's gonna go for another castle on the left as he loses the one in front of his base. How does taking dead work? Everything paid in dollars? It depends. If you're talking about private debt, with like a private entity, usually they are going to want to use dollars. They are going to give you pesos, but the equivalent amount of pesos to the amount of dollars that they are going to want back, so to say. And then you're going to pay back in pesos at whatever the exchange rate is as time goes on. Yeah, and if it's with the bank, usually the interest rates are going to be flexible, so they can jack it up anytime they want. Counter rates coming in for TaToH. Cannot really do too much. I do like that he's got a lot of vision though. Check this out. The right hand side especially, he knows a lot. He's been going for some walls, but Andy's been going for some walls over here, and he'll prevent TaToH from coming in. However, at the center, we have the Rathas over here. Rathas on Custier. These are elite already. Yes, sir. And I would imagine the FreakinAndy has already managed to go for pikes as well, the upgrade. So, this should be attacking faster as TaToH is unable to get a good engagement over here. He'll probably end up losing all the Custier. We're going to see extra Rathas coming in for FreakinAndy as well. And this is good. This is good for FreakinAndy. He's getting a nice lead in military. Compared to TaToH, he's so far ahead. The Blue player's got 3 castles to work with, and he's going for the 4th castle right now, which will increase production by 33%. handcards coming in now for FreakinAndy, while TaToH is going for Burgundian Vineyards, which isn't really going to do too much, but might as well go for it. It's got scale mill armor, so it's thinking of potentially going... It's thinking of going for pike, and that's not going to do anything, you know? You can just switch this over to range mode, and your pikes are completely useless. So yeah, interestingly enough, TaToH's population is a little higher compared to FreakinAndy. FreakinAndy is only now going for pikes. He's got it. Well, if his Rathas were already strong enough to take on the Custier over here, you can just imagine what pike Rathas are like. 20% stronger, basically. Not the best unit control for FreakinAndy, though. Just trying to target the villagers over there. And he still retains a good amount of Rathas. Second trebuchet is on the way. Not really. He needs to go for more siege. Basically, the game, the win condition over here for FreakinAndy is taking the castles down and prevent TaToH from getting more Custier out as well. Skirmishes are not going to work against Rathas. We have seen already in the past when testing this unit that the melee mode has the Rathas completely obliterate skirmishers. And kind of similar to the Halberdier as well, you just switch to range mode and the Rathas completely obliterate Halberdier as well. He's made the Rathas work for the time being, but he needs something else. He needs a meat shield over here ideally as well, so that he doesn't have to juggle between melee and range modes if we have an army of Halberdier and skirmishers coming up. FreakinAndy is going for Mahayana, which will reduce villager population space by 10%. This is really interesting. It's a pretty nifty upgrade actually, because you can get up to like 146 villagers, and then after getting Mahayana, they are going to only amount to 130 or so population. So he finishes researching that, and he goes down by 15 population or so, which frees up a lot of extra space for him to keep on going for military. Unfortunately, the Rathas over here are actually getting picked up. Army composition for TaToH is a little bit better, and once again we are kind of missing a meat shield for FreakinAndy to work out of. TaToH's putting pressure up in the north now. We see he'll come in straight into the wood lines. Does he know about this one? He doesn't know about this one, but he'll take on these villagers. Yes, sir. And he'll keep on trying to go around, of course. While FreakinAndy is... It's looking like he's struggling here to keep the push going. Only cavalry melee unit listen to skirmishers? Nah, the skirmishers alone, they don't die. We tried it already, and the skirmishers get completely obliterated by the Rathas. I mean, you do end up taking a good amount of Rathas down, but still. The Rathas will come out on top with the same amount of resources on both sides. I guess it is true that you wouldn't want to lose any, right? But still, it's going to be a much more pop efficient unit. There we go. Defensive castles coming up for TaToH. Just trying to get the castle down from FreakinAndy. Chunkers! Absolutely. Well done. These elephants are actually really good. They are. TaToH's holding on over here really well. And the game, it seems like it's going to keep on going for quite a while. Overall population is kind of similar. Even if FreakinAndy's population seems significantly lower than TaToH, that's because of Mahayana. If it weren't because of that, it would probably be about the same, with only about 15 extra population for TaToH. But as it is right now, FreakinAndy is actually in an alright spot, and if he manages to get up or close to 200 population, that's going to be the best. we are. Beautiful. FreakinAndy's push over here seems like it might actually work out now that he's got a third trebuchet out. He's taking the castle down. TaToH's gone down to 3 castles only. And the most important thing about this as well, if you're in FreakinAndy's position, is that there are only 2 castles, actually 4 castles left for TaToH, but there are only 2 castles over here at the center. And this is where a big chunk of the economy for TaToH is. There you are. Alright, I do need to pause the game for a second. This is kind of awkward, but I guess I should say. Let's keep on going. TaToH loses some villagers over there. We take a look at the left-hand side. Yes. The castle should go down very soon from FreakinAndy over here as well. Sending the Rathas over the right-hand side. Left the castle completely exposed. FreakinAndy's going to end up losing this one, going down to 2 castles. Unlike TaToH, the castle count for FreakinAndy was not particularly high, so losing a castle over here is going to be a lot more impactful on FreakinAndy's ability to go for his own unique unit. So instead, he's going to make a switch into light cavalry. There you are. And it seems like the wood's going to start becoming an issue very soon, right? At the very least for TaToH, send the villagers all the way forward over there is kind of awkward given that he's got this wood available on the back. I guess it's probably due to the fact that, you know, he's gonna be able to go back to the back wood anytime he wants. He won't necessarily be able to collect from the front. So maybe that's also the reason why FreakinAndy's been collecting from this one. So if they ever get pushed away from the center, they can still have extra wood on the back to fall back to. So it's a little bit of a safer play, even if it's going to expose the villagers a little bit more earlier in the game. Does fans really need Halberdier to deal with? Yeah, we have a Halberdier coming out right now for TaToH. The game's looking very close, guys. You know, when we cast the first series of the round of 16 for the main event, we had an invited player really struggle against one of the qualifying players, and I wonder if that's going to be the case. I mean, of course TaToH is up 1-0 against FreakinAndy, but FreakinAndy's gotten a lot of experience going through the qualifiers of the Wallhalla tournament, so that is not something that TaToH has had himself, and it could very well be the case of FreakinAndy's experience on these maps and with these civilizations and diverse strategies might give him a little bit of an edge against TaToH in the end. Yeah, struggling against Bengalis as well, but there's a reason why Bengalis are the second most popular civilization on this map. And this is the reason for that. I thought invited actually lost? Yes! Yeah, Jordan lost versus Valis. And now we're gonna see if TaToH is able to take the series against FreakinAndy or not. FreakinAndy's got a lot of experience already playing on these maps. Since when did Bengalis eat spinach and turn into Popeye Galis? They are really good, but you gotta take care of your units. And a big issue right now for FreakinAndy is the lack of gold. If we take a look at the map, actually, there is no gold left. There is this one gold over here at the center, right, that he's actually going for. Come on, man. Can you imagine this in real life? There's a huge battle taking place, and then just some peasants out of the blue come and try to collect some resources in between the fights. Yeah, I don't see that happening, so they are just going to bail. But that's the only gold that's available, so TaToH's out of it as well. I guess Burgundian Vineyards is going to come in handy right now, but it's not going to allow him to collect a lot of extra resources. With 60 farms, that's going to be about 2 relics worth of gold income, which will still place his gold income stronger. or it's going to place it at a better place, and a better place compared to FreakinAndy's, right? Who's got 3 relics, so it's going to be kind of like 4 relics worth of gold income for TaToH versus 3, but it's very, very small difference. TaToH has 1 petard. Had 1 petard. I'm not really sure where he would have used it. Yeah, no idea, but it doesn't seem like he will be able to do much of anything. Oh, it was over here. Okay, okay. Might have been a misclick. Or might have been a leftover petard from earlier that he sent forward. Yeah, check that out! TaToH calls a GG, guys. And FreakinAndy takes game number 2 to equalize the series. Wow. Well played. Good performance of FreakinAndy over here. For the achievements, as usual, let's take a look at the military over here and check that out. That was so good for FreakinAndy. Especially with the units he was going for. He kind of needed to have a better KD, right? Because it was not the most cost-effective trades for him, usually losing the Rathas to Halberdier skirmishers. He did manage to keep a good amount of units alive until the very end. But yeah, this is still kind of necessary for FreakinAndy to get throughout the game. Stronger economy for him, collecting about 1100 extra resources. Worker count towards the end of the game significantly higher as well. So yeah, Bengal is OP. Mahayana is really strong. I do agree. Allows you to get to a military count that is simply not possible to get to with any other civilizations while still retaining a good amount of villages, right? So that's enough of it though, guys. Welcome everyone to game number 3 as the series is tied 1-1 right now. We're gonna see TaToH on the right hand side playing with Pulse in the blue color that he's gone for right away on his own. And we will need to change the color. And then FreakinAndy's on the left hand side playing with Turks. Taking a look at the civilizations over here, starting with Pulse, he'll be getting 50% of stone income as gold income from stone miners. So stone miners are going to be worth about 1.5 as much, as they'll be collecting 0.5 units of gold per each unit of stone. They also have access to the Fallborg, the special mill plus house building that's going to give you extra food each time that you get the farm up adjacent to it. Besides that, we also get for Poles, before I forget it, what is it for them? They have the stone miners, right? They have the Fallborg. I'm forgetting about something over here. They have the villagers that regenerate HP as well, 5, 10, 15, and 20 HP. That's not really going to be relevant over here. And for the team bonus, Scotland units get bonus damage against archers for them. 1 only. And then Turks on the other hand. Turks are a very interesting choice over here. They do get faster working gold miners. They are not going to be quite as efficient as the stone miners from Poles, but it's 20% faster for them. They have extra armor on Scotland units though, 1 extra pierce armor, and they get the scout cavalry upgrades for free, so light cavalry and hussar. Chemistry for free, a 50% discount on gunpowder upgrades, as well as 25% extra HP on gunpowder units, and then for the team bonus, 25% faster training gunpowder units. So Turks are a civilization that are going to do really well either with a full Castle Age push with Janissaries and getting access to the gunpowder unit in the Castle Age before anybody else for the most part, unless you're talking about Bohemians. And potentially also there's going to be the possibility for them to fast imp, make a play for bombard cannons too. And then at later stages of the game, Turks are actually pretty decent as long as you have access to gold. That's the thing, that's the catch for Turks. TaToH on the other hand with Pulse is going to have a pretty strong economy in the later stages of the game, but it's going to take some time getting there, of course. In the Castle Age, they also have a power spike with the Schlachta privilege upgrade, giving them a discount on island units. So Stone was 1080 HP over here. When the players get to the Feudal Age, I think it goes up to 1800. But I'm not actually quite sure how it works, because I remember I saw 1800 HP on one of these walls some time ago. But obviously this is Gaia, so I don't remember actually if it's that both players have to get to the next stage, or if I just remember wrong and it's just going to stay at 1080 the whole time. It is Gaia, yeah. It's like ads themselves, even a fake mobile game where they promote playing it. Oh, you're getting those? I never get those ads. I guess probably based on region, right? I never get those on YouTube, but I see usually pictures of those on the web, just around the web. I'll see like an actual screenshot from Age of Empires 2, and then just some random game name, and then just some quote saying like this game is the best RPG. Actually, yeah, sometimes it's going to be wrong. This is an RTS, right? But it sometimes is going to say this is the best RTS or the best even RPG or best action game for your phone. I hate it. I hate it so much when they do that. So alright, Fuel H is here for TaToH, and Gaia is going to stay the same. I think I might be misrecalling over here. I think it might have been just 1080 the whole game, and I just misremembered it. Much range coming in, TaToH's going for a Fuel H push. Went up on a very small economy, so it's kind of the only thing he can go for right now. But on this map, it's usually not quite as strong as on different maps. If you had Poles versus Turks on a map like Hideout or on a map like Bypass, then going for this is going to be much stronger, much faster. TaToH at this point in time is extremely unlikely to prevent FreakinAndy from getting to the castle edge, and if FreakinAndy was making a play for a fast castle into a castle into Janissaries, I don't think TaToH will be able to deny that either, because he will need to come in with the villagers, go for towers. There's such a vast distance for the villagers to cover, and then he needs to go for the tower, he needs to go for the... yeah, that's it. Actually, he needs to go for the tower forward, and he needs to make sure that he does not lose the villagers, does not get trapped. And he needs to force the defensive towers from FreakinAndy, so FreakinAndy is unable to go for the castle as soon as he gets to the castle edge. But right now, it doesn't seem like it's going to do much of anything. FreakinAndy is going out to the castle edge very soon himself, and TaToH will... he's not going out to the castle edge anytime soon. Interestingly enough, FreakinAndy's not been collecting stone whatsoever, so it's just going to be the extra TCs for him. This is going to be a play for Hussar and Cavalry Archers for the later stages of the game. Should be good. Even if TaToH gets a discount on Nylon units, which lack the privileges, those units do not scale too well. In the Imperialists, they're not going to get access to plate part and armor. They do not get Paladin. And FreakinAndy with Turks can go for Sipahi, which gives the Cavalry Archers extra HP and makes them even stronger than they are. So they are better than fully upgraded for Turks. Yeah, and I think that's probably the plan for FreakinAndy over here. There we go. TaToH's finally coming in, enforcing the defensive tower, but let's take a look at the range. Yeah, this isn't really doing much of anything for TaToH, unfortunately, and FreakinAndy will be in the castle edge very soon. He can go for siege, take this down, and let's go for the extra TCs. So this is what I was talking about. There is some experience, right, that FreakinAndy's got on top of TaToH on these maps, with these civilizations, with these strategies. TaToH is going for a strat over here that I don't think other players who have gone through the qualifiers would have gone for. As FreakinAndy gets to the castle edge, we'll see the second TC come up. Actually, I think he could go for the second TC, honestly, and just take the tower down if he went for the second TC next to the goal. But yeah, he's going to go for the siege workshop, sorry, instead. So he can clean this up and potentially clean up any extra towers coming up for TaToH, which is fine. And he'll have to delay TCs a little bit. And actually, it seems like he's going to be thinking of going for a castle. Interesting. The good thing for TaToH is that he has not really committed to this too heavily. You can see there are only 4 villagers forward. He's not sent anymore. In any case, The stone wall is going to remain the same. It's not going to go up in HP. So it was my bad. And I just misremembered it being 1800. Yeah, the defense. It's repairing the mango, so the tower's going down for sure. Good job, he's keeping the mangonel in front of the villager too. So the tower crumbles over there. There's only one left over here from TaToH that isn't really achieving much of anything. It's only targeting one farm from FreakinAndy. Definitely not worth it, I would say. TaToH seems absolutely done with the end of shit. He's getting out of here. Yeah. And FreakinAndy, well, of course, is in a pretty decent spot right now. He'll be able to go for a castle. This is not what he was playing towards. I think he was playing just towards economy and potentially for a late game full economy cavalry archer kind of push. But now he's getting enough resources to go for a castle. And as he's cleaning out the towers from TaToH, he could potentially come forward and go for the castle at the center as well. We'll see. I was gonna try to go for yet another tower, and that is certainly not one to come up, for sure. Beautiful. He's trying to breach through first. He's trying to breach in. Breach through the house wall. Which seems very unlikely. TaToH. It's kind of stuck in the village though. He's not thinking of going after the castle age at all. Instead, he's got bloodlines coming in and a bunch of scouts queued up. Let me take a look to see how many stables he's got. He's gone for the second stable. This is just not going to work out for him at all. Scout edition is not going to do anything for TaToH, unfortunately. With the castle already up over here, nothing from the village is going to work out from TaToH, so he needs to go out to the castle age, and he's saving the resources now. That may work many times during his TaToH series. Against a player with a castle already up. Also, the TaToH series usually he was facing lower elo players, right? I think FreakinAndy might be around the same elo as TaToH right now. Somebody could confirm that by doing #match, by the way. Get elo information from both players. There we go. Castle H is on the way for TaToH finally. FreakinAndy's gotta be careful. #match will give you elo information for both players. There we go. Oh, wait. The command's not working. Is the spectator dashboard down? Let me try. It seems like the spectator dashboard bot is down. Even if the spectator dashboard site is actually up. Oh, rip. I think it probably crashed. Somebody crashed the bot, and now happily he's gotta go and reset it. Anyway, TaToH might have been timed out from the ladder. I'm not sure, but I guess that's probably the reason why he doesn't really have either right now. But check that out. FreakinAndy is rank 14 right now. That is extremely high. That is so high that I am convinced FreakinAndy over here is good enough to take games on any of the other top 15 players. Just gotta be careful and not to take a free damage over here. Definitely would have liked for him to have gone for the second mana earlier and try to get the tower down over here to prevent TaToH from pushing, because being able to break through over here and putting so much pressure is something that TaToH has gotten away with that he shouldn't have. And FreakinAndy, he's got the Magnet going forward now. I think. Where's the Magnet? Oh, okay, he's sending it back. But he's got the Janissaries moving in. Might be able to get some units down over there. We have the Crossman upgrade over here for TaToH. FreakinAndy's going for Sanctity. Well done. Third layer of walls coming out with the house as well. Nice.
Emret.
Here we go. Ballistics coming in now for TaToH as well.
Jakieś rozkazania?
Here come the villagers from FreakinAndy. He's gathered enough to go for another castle, and he's going for it. He was going for it next to the tower, behind the walls. He's going to go for it still on the same spot. There's only one opening. Yeah, so he's gonna try and control this one. TaToH's gotta be careful. These Janissaries might not be affected by ballistics. But, yeah, when they are fighting against crosses over here, which are kind of squeezed on a small space. Yeah, they're still going to be quite deadly, so you can take a look at the Janissaries over there. That's very good unit control for FreakinAndy. He's bringing the Magnus as well. This is huge, guys. There's 2 Magnus coming up. He's bringing the ram. He's going to plug. Oh, he's going to plug the hole with the ram. Come on, he's got to go for it. Never mind. TaToH actually had a gate over there, so it's whatever. That would have been genius if he actually was able to plug the hole over here, and then TaToH didn't have a gate over here, but I completely forgot that he had gone for it. Regardless, though, with the castle coming up, he'll be able to get the gate down, to get the tower down as well. Protect the access point into his own economy, and he's got a second TC coming up, but about the same time as TaToH, so both players will have a somewhat comparable economy, even if TaToH managed to get ahead in work count a little bit, as FreakinAndy struggle to keep the TCs working. Jenny solo accuracy, that they hate moving targets, they do. Sometimes. Beautiful push from FreakinAndy. He needs to keep on going for more, though. Can't find TaToH on leaderboard? Yeah, he might have gotten timed out. If you don't play a ranked game for 4 weeks, you get timed out. And I'm taking a look at the leaderboard, and I cannot find TaToH myself, so it seems like he has not played a ranked game. A ranked 1v1 RM game in quite a while. He's probably played Empire Wars, though, quite a bit, I imagine. And anybody who has made it into Red Bull Wallhalla Legacy will also most likely end up playing a lot of Empire Wars from here on until the main event. Oh, nice pick. 2 Manos for free for TaToH. Well done. In the end, FreakinAndy could end up destroying the archer range over here. But yeah, it came a little bit of a price, though. FreakinAndy is bringing some of the Janissaries and the rounds to the back to defend himself. He's not taking the villagers from TaToH down for sure. And if we take a look at the villager count, TaToH's ahead by 9, but he's got only 4 villagers forward, so if he loses these, he'll still retain a 5 villager lead. Which is what he already had before, though, so it's not really the best. Actually, he's got only 3 villagers left forward. If I get to 1500, I'll be in Ireland's top 10. Is that so? How close are you to it? Rosa? Let me know. If you've been a year without internet in your house, I can't imagine you playing too much. Weren't you like 1100 last time that I checked? Something along those lines. There we go. I'm 1100-ish. I'm in Australia's top 250. Yeah, I imagine I'm probably in Argentina's top 500 for sure. Easy. Imperial just coming out for both players, but FreakinAndy's got a head start to it by quite a lot. A second siege workshop is coming up. The reason for this is free chemistry. As soon as he gets to the Imperial, he'll be able to start pumping bar cannons, of course. In addition to the Janissaries, that's going to make for a very strong army. And honestly, I would really like to see FreakinAndy invest a little bit more heavily into cavalry. Hussars, especially with the 1 extra Pierce armor that they get, will be a fantastic meat shield against crossbows, potentially against arbalesters even, and TaToH seems to be going for that. He's got Thamrin coming in as well, and the only military unit that he's gone for, besides Siege and Monks, has been the crossbowmen. I think Andy should have done more pressure. I completely agree. I feel as soon as he got the castle lap, he should have tried to go all out, but it was difficult, to be fair. He actually let TaToH get away with going for another tower over here that actually delayed Andy quite a lot. I think the tower should never have come up. I think TaToH should never have been able to breach through the house over there. Back at it, they have proper internet, mouse, and keyboards are probably 1500. But 1100 reality for now. It's alright, it's alright. We are all 1500 inside. So I am 1050 at the moment, the 416th best Aussie. Where did you see what your position was in your country? Is there a website, or are you just sorting by country and then by elo? Hey, Nexus. Ah, right, you're correct. Thank you. Let's take a look. Nice bombard cannon shot. And that is another good one. FreakinAndy would definitely benefit from going for artillery right now. That is good though. TaToH is not reacting over here too much. But to be fair, the units are not really taking too much damage either. Let's take a look at the attack runs over there. That is good though. A bunch of our ballistas going down. FreakinAndy struggling to calculate the path of the units. And now we finally see some Hussar coming out. This is exactly what we need. A Hussar will be an incredible meat shield. Should be able to take care of the arbalests over there just fine. And then FreakinAndy, he's got to keep on putting pressure as well. Wow, Argentina's got the most players in the top 100. And I guess that's probably just Capuch and his 15 Smurf account. Nice picks over here though. TaToH's getting into the back of FreakinAndy's base. And even though FreakinAndy was able to reduce the arbalester count by a lot, these are still enough to one-shot villagers, so he's got to take care of these. There we go. So let me check. 1100 average rating for Argentina. 4012 players. And 10 players in the top 10, in the top 100. Allegedly. Yeah, I would probably... Yeah, it would actually probably not be top 500 in Argentina, probably like top 2000. Need to fix that, for sure. We'll see. Yeah, the push from FreakinAndy is finally starting to look pretty strong. TaToH? TaToH's going for Wing Hazard. Interestingly enough, the Janissaries over here, they have archer type armor. So they would take bonus damage from the Wing Hazard. It's gonna be very important for FreakinAndy to try and prevent the Wing Hazard from getting there. Especially if TaToH was... Well, he's got the castle, but I don't think he's gone for the Imperial H upgrade yet, right? %+ plus villagers for TaToH? Yeah, well, so, right? FreakinAndy's been able to keep up overall, and now he's still behind, but not by too much. I think if TaToH's able to hold on over here and push FreakinAndy back, FreakinAndy will be able to get to a good amount of villagers himself and hold on against TaToH's push as well. Was it the Polish Hussar that get anti-gunpowder bonus? Anti-gunpowder bonus? Polish Hussar? Let me take a look. Yeah. Look at 4. It's just a Winged Hussar unit, so I imagine it's also going to be for the other civilization. Here we go. Nice big silver there. No way though! No way! That's gonna be so frustrating for TaToH! Check that out! FreakinAndy survives with all 4 bombard cannons over here. Very low HP, all of these. Holy crap! 45 HP total between all 4 of those. Yeah, that's gonna be so frustrating for TaToH, but he did manage to push FreakinAndy away though. And FreakinAndy, well, he's going for extra villages. He's got a 40C coming up now, so he'll catch up and work account for sure. The big issue over here for FreakinAndy, once again, it's going to be the gold situation. So he's trying to steal some of TaToH's gold. TaToH's not got into the front goal himself, and this one is being collected by FreakinAndy. Meanwhile, FreakinAndy's own forward gold is still up for grabs. And he's doing the smart thing once again. He's just going for the exposed resources so that he can potentially fall back to the safer one in case he gets pushed out. And if he does not get pushed out, obviously TaToH's going to have a much smaller amount of gold left for him to work with. Man, we are in game number 3. It's 2 hours and a half already of stream time. This could be a pretty long one as well. Yeah. A little bit of a raid though, coming in for the wing from the Wing Hussar, and FreakinAndy is going for camels. We're talking about the possibility of heavy cavalry archers and Hussar earlier. Camels would be even better. Heavy camels and fully upgraded cavalry archers would be the ideal composition for FreakinAndy, but obviously it's going to come in at a pretty penny. Does not get him pushed away from the gold in front though, and his villager count scrambling a little bit. So he'll need to go back and start collecting gold from here, which it's going to have only 600 and 760, and then from here, right, which still has 6,000 left. But yeah, ideally FreakinAndy wants to push TaToH away from these resources so that he can collect those, and TaToH's able to keep on going for more units. And to be fair, TaToH's been going for the most part for Wing Hussar for the last few minutes, so he's not really being queuing any extra arbalests or anything else. So maybe a as long as TaToH is able to hold on to a strong enough meat shield to hold on against FreakinAndy's units, he'll be able to, yeah, to keep on going even without gold as long as he's able to hold on to the outer distance. There we go. Everyone does kind of forget it was the Winged Hussar that stopped the Ottomans. Is that so? Quick walls over here from FreakinAndy though, but still TaToH seems to have gotten some momentum over here. She's coming in. That's taking the castle, and we don't really have enough siege over here for FreakinAndy to defend himself. He does have 2 bombard cannons, but he's gotta get out into the open to get the trebuchets down. And now the Hussar are coming in. They're gonna target the bombard cannons. They managed to get 1 down. Take out the second one. But yeah, FreakinAndy is in an awkward spot. He cannot really take the trebuchets down without venturing out into the open, which is going to put them, of course, at risk of getting picked up by the Winged Hussar and TaToH. It's going to win again the castle over here, but it looks like we'll see. He did end up losing more trebuchets over there. FreakinAndy still has the bombard cannon to take the second trebuchet down with, or potentially even get the arbalesters down. However, TaToH is just barreling through the defenses from FreakinAndy, going after the TCs, coming in with Winged Hussar through the north and through the south as well. FreakinAndy's economy is wide open right now, right for taking, and TaToH is absolutely going to take advantage of it. So as FreakinAndy runs out of steam, TaToH picks it up, and his push is looking just so strong. GG's coming out for FreakinAndy. Just in time as TaToH takes game number 3. This is going to be his home map that he was able to win on. And then game number 4 is going to take place on FreakinAndy's home map. If he's able to take that one, we're going to have a full series, of course. So for military, FreakinAndy gets to close to 4 to 3 KD ratio. Not quite, a little bit higher than 5 to 4, but that's about it. For economy, it's significantly stronger for TaToH. After all, he did enjoy a much higher work count for the most part of the game, and it's no wonder he was able to keep on going for the Winged Hussar for so long, and so much earlier compared to FreakinAndy, who struggled to make the play for Hussar himself. I'm not really sure what happened with the... Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened with the transition over there, but sorry about that. And welcome everyone then to game number 4. TaToH in blue, FreakinAndy in orange. Yes, sir. Malay for FreakinAndy and Italians for TaToH, which means FreakinAndy is gonna enjoy faster research times for the ages. So he goes up significantly faster compared to other civilizations, shoving about 40% of the research time. He's going to have on top of that cheaper elephants. And that's about it. The rest of the bonuses will be for water maps, and we don't have any water over here. So it's most likely going to be just about going up faster. Getting a hidden villager count because of it by about 5 villagers by the time you get to the castle age, and just utilize the stronger economy to go for an earlier in push. While TaToH, on the other hand, playing with Italians, will actually end up 7 big on going out to the next stages himself, as he gets a 15% discount on each research cost. Please tell me if Vario knows the meaning of IRL? I would imagine. Peace IRL? I'm not really sure. Savarian, are you in Florida? We were talking about cost of living with the chat earlier today. And yeah, I was talking about rent, groceries, that kind of stuff, right? Around the world. Okay, sounds great. And yeah, I was talking about the US. That's the place that's been tempting me the most to move to because of a variety of reasons. But yeah, I don't expect it to be straightforward, as I know it's very difficult to move there. I know that you guys are very careful about immigration. And yeah, the cost of living I think is significantly steeper compared to Europe. We're taking a look at some like rent prices and it's pretty high. I'm Australian, good luck. I have better chances of meeting Ro, but I met Ro, would recommend. There should be a Florida Man has a discount over there. Oh boy. So yeah, anyway. I guess it's going to fluctuate wildly depending on where exactly you want to go to. I have a great deal for rent in my area and I'm paying $1,200 a month for a 1-bed condo. That sounds good. So I don't really have too much knowledge about the rent prices everywhere else or everywhere in the US for that matter. I was just taking a look at some of the New York prices because I have this fantasy of at some point at the very least spending 1 year or 2 years in a massive city, and New York just got this thing that really allures me. I know it's extremely unlikely I'll ever make it, but one can dream, right? And I saw the prices over there, they're pretty steep. For a 1-bedroom, you're probably going to be paying $2,000, maybe $2,200 perhaps. I noticed that most of the cheaper places, they are usually located around Harlem, especially East Harlem. I'm really sure that's good or bad, but I imagine if it's cheaper over there, there's gotta be a reason for it. I'll see if I can ever attend the local LAN, which I hear Ro does attend. When my sleep schedule is friendlier for it, I want to attend and not perform too well, because my elo is very indicative. Yeah. It's going out for TaToH and FreakinAndy. FreakinAndy is going for a straight fast castle. This is something that Malay can get away with by going up significantly later because of the faster uptime, right? So he goes up with a very strong economy. Already 26 villages is way more than what any other civilization would need to fast castle. TaToH's going up already on 22 villages, or 23 population. He'll still be able to fast castle because of the 15% discount. A different civilization will require 1 extra villager. Plus, he's got a stable on the way, and we'll see a blacksmith come up as well for him to go up. He'll try to get some map control ideally so that he can try and contest the relics. Why TaToH places a house within the wall? He deleted the wall in... Wait, TaToH? Over here? Yes. He deleted the wall in order to get the boar in, and then he patched it up. I don't know if it was the boar or if it was the deer. I don't remember if you can get boar outside the wall on this map. But if it was not the boar, it was probably just a deer. He did collect them, right? Ibex in this case, from what I can see. I think those are the horns. Yeah, Ibex. Whichever one he had to get. Yeah, just going for a house there. So now Village is here for FreakinAndy. He's got a stable coming up. He's got a market coming in. A build that's been pretty commonly used for Malay specifically on Arena in the past. And yeah, it's good. Basically, you just want to go for the scouts so you can get some map presence, ideally some map control. TaToH did click up sooner, but check this out. He's at 40% right now. And FreakinAndy, as soon as he gets the market up, he'll click up himself as well. This is a difference of about 5% or so, if I'm not mistaken. So FreakinAndy will be up a little bit later, and TaToH will still beat him to the castle age. But FreakinAndy obviously will have a 5 villager lead, which is nothing short of amazing, of course. He's got 1 second divided TC time. That's the same case for TaToH as well. So that's a pretty respectable lead. So $1,200 for a 1-bedroom condo. I gotta wonder how much you would have to pay to share an apartment with somebody to be a roommate on a 2-bedroom apartment. I would imagine it'll be less, right? Or would that be like 800 perhaps? Anyway, back to the game. Too much daydreaming, man, not enough casting. So let's go for it. Like cavalry on the way for bold players. And TaToH, he had a head start to the castle age by about 9 seconds, so he'll be strong. He's got the monastery on the way, and FreakinAndy, he's got the monastery coming up as well. It's coming up significantly later. Still 1 villager though for each player. But there we go. TaToH should be going for the first monk already, and he's got it on the way. He's got the light cavalry upgrade. Took 1 free hit from FreakinAndy's spearman though, so he's gotta be careful. The great thing about this map compared to some of the other similar maps, compared to this one, for instance, Arenaception, right, is that map would be completely flat, and on this one you have a lot of elevations around the map, especially around the center. There are so many mounts over here, little mounts and hills, that you can take advantage of in order to get better engagements against your opponent, and could allow you to come back from a position where you were not looking quite as good.
Enmipho.
The TaToHs get picked on this map. I don't remember seeing TaToHs picked too much on this map. Even if they do get a little bit of extra damage from the hill, there are a lot over here, so it's very hard to force an engagement. It's not like Acclivity, for instance, where there is one big ridge or something like that, or, you know, Kilimanjaro, where you're... If you get the hill, you can get a hold of it. On this one, it's not really going to be possible, so it's very hard for you to effectively take advantage of it. Usually, you see just strong arena civilizations on a map like this. Nice pick though from TaToH. Unfortunately, he has only 3 light cavalry left, while FreakinAndy is on 5. He's got 2 spearmen, and he's got the monk coming over to collect the relic. We'll see. There are also relics outside. It's not going to be all inside, so we have 2 additional relics. There is 1 over here, and I think TaToH might have collected one of the outer relics though, because I think I see only 4 relics at the center left. He's collecting 1, right? And there are 2 over here, and there's 1 over here, and there should be 7 total. So he's getting this one. Yes, and that's going to be 1 and 1. And we still have 3 relics at the center and only 1 outside. So I think we're probably missing a relic over here, or it's probably behind, I don't know, right next to a gold or something. That makes it very hard for us to see it. Another relic's coming in for FreakinAndy. Oh, never mind. TaToH did collect one of the back relics. He's got 2 right now. So we have 2 relics for FreakinAndy. We have 2 relics for TaToH, and there are 4 relics left. With this one on the right hand side, this one on the right hand side, inside and outside respectively, and then this one on the left hand side. Wait. Oh yeah, this one on the left hand side inside as well. And he is going to be left on 3 relics. And TaToH's going to be left on 3 relics, and then the 7th relic is going to be up for grabs on the right hand side. Thanks to everyone who's been following the stream, who's coming into the stream for the first time today. I hope you're enjoying, guys. Sorry about the off topics from time to time. That's just, you know, by nature of this game's not being particularly fast-paced and being pretty slow early on. We're on the way now for FreakinAndy. Sanctity's coming up now for TaToH as well. If you wanted to commit to monks, he would have one of the better civilizations to go for it. Italians get everything except for heresy. But I don't think that's going to be the right call, especially as TaToH already has so many scouts out, so it's gotta be something else. Three TCs for both players already, so they'll both be thinking of going out to the Imperial Age sometime soon. They're both playing for economy for the most part. Nobody's going for any military units. So yeah, it seems like it's going to be a somewhat slow game for the time being. Atonement! He got atonement? What are the technologies? I didn't see atonement. He did. Okay. Well, that could be good. If he's able to convert TaToH's monks, that'll make it much slower for TaToH to keep on pushing over here, much harder. He was there. Right. Can I remove this? What? I think this bugged out. Yeah. Do I need to have everything on? And then I can turn stuff off? I cannot turn it off if I have this enabled. Okay, there we go. Good push. TaToH's going for it now. Yes, sir. He did go for atonement. He's targeting the monk and he's not getting it, actually. Yeah, TaToH got atonement himself and he managed to get the monk from FreakinAndy before FreakinAndy was able to get the monk himself. Nice, so he's coming in. The monastery down then. Two relics are completely exposed over here. And that castle, the castle's coming up. Absolutely, there is nothing that TaToH will be able to stop this. Left hand side, FreakinAndy's just gone for the walls. Try and prevent TaToH from coming out. There we go. More conversions coming up. He cannot really do it. Beautiful. What a heist. He managed to get one of the relics. The other one is still there. That'll still put TaToH in a pretty good spot though. I think he already had managed to collect the one on the right hand side, so he was already on 4. And now I think he should be able to collect the 5th one. And at most, FreakinAndy will be able to collect the 2. Once again, this one. And I have no idea what the other one is actually. Oh yeah, okay, so it's 2 or oh, the 3. You are right, then it's going to be 6 relics for TaToH. Yeah, you're correct, you're correct. Never mind. To the Imperial Age a little bit later. Well, actually significantly later. But I think it should be fine. By the time FreakinAndy actually gets the push going, right? TaToH's probably gonna be getting to the Imperial Age himself. So, there we go. Imperial Age is here for FreakinAndy and he's going for Powder Archer Armor. Would love to see him go for a Tradition and just go for it and start knocking on TaToH's door. for a castle on the way now for FreakinAndy. And he's not really going for much of anything though. He's got some Karambit warriors. Going up to the Imperial Age, if you're not planning on following it up with something, it seems kind of a waste if you have not kind of maxed out your villager count yet. Just going to be pricey overall, and he's not really going for much of anything. Okay, there we go. Church is on the way. Well, TaToH's going for his own castle. He'll be able to go for churches once he gets to the Imperial Age. In both these civilizations, we'll also get access to bombard cannons, so that's going to be an option as well. Karambit warriors are coming in for FreakinAndy. I gotta think what TaToH's choice is going to be in the Imperial Age. Italians are not a strong arena civilization, so I am liking FreakinAndy's matchup over here a lot better. But what will TaToH have access to? He gets a 30% discount on gunpowder units. He'll have, in addition to that, access to condottieri from the team bonus, and the Imperial Age from the barracks. Yeah. Here we are. As Trebuchet deploys, he'll start targeting the castle. He's got the second one on the way as well from the forward castle, and he's got a third castle on the way. FreakinAndy's in a game of his own, 144 pop versus 120. And obviously, if he wants to go for Karambit warriors, he'll be able to go for just so many as they only occupy half a population slot. Beautiful. Well done. And he snipes the trebuchet right away. TaToH? What does TaToH have to work with? He doesn't really have anything. He doesn't really have momentum going anywhere. He's using the villagers on the left-hand side. It's going to be 7 villagers down the ground for sure. Meanwhile, TaToH's going for a right-hand side wall over here. And yeah, he's kind of trapped, right? He cannot go out the left. He cannot go out the right. He can only go to the back of his base. Well, FreakinAndy is already in. Yeah, 174 population, 50 military units, a bunch of Karambits coming out around. From the TaToH's base, and FreakinAndy's momentum over here is really strong. TaToH's going for condottieri. I don't know about this. I do not like that. The condottieri, they are strong. You do not need to get any upgrades for them to be immediately usable. It's not going to be anywhere near enough, is it? Well, we'll see. He does not push him FreakinAndy back, at the very least, and he does get some, yeah, bonus damage against these units, so the bombard cannons are going down. That's going to be a very expensive loss for FreakinAndy, of course. However, FreakinAndy can't afford it. He does have a strong economy right now, and the condottieri go down. In the end, it's going to be a, it's going to be a better trade for TaToH as he ends up getting all 4 bombard cannons. But FreakinAndy still has momentum over here, much stronger population. He's bringing the Karambit warriors. As he's got 3 castles to produce from, he should be able to mass a good amount of Karambits, and that's going to be a strong enough meat shield against the condottieri. I feel like that he should be able to sustain their push. Yeah, completely agree with you, Mr. Puffy. This map, as similar as it is to Arena, is going to favor, obviously, very strong Arena civilizations, which Italians are not. We get Pavise now for TaToH. That's going to give the condottieri 1 extra armor, which doesn't really do too much of a difference. FreakinAndy doesn't really have too many Karambit warriors, though. Even if he's getting to 200 population, it's got a lot of skirmishers, though. Is he pushing on the left? He's got to go for bombard cannons. It's going to be pretty pricey. Right now, his economy is kind of on the edge. This is a very good defense for TaToH, though. Wait a second. He's got 6 bombard cannons at the center. He's taking out the castle over here, and he will. You know what, FreakinAndy? Only now! Going for Karambit Warrior, for the elite Karambit Warrior upgrade. Oh boy. The numbers are lacking for FreakinAndy a lot. If he was able to get to like 60 elite Karambit Warriors, that would be significantly harder for TaToH to hold on against. But standard Karambit Warriors on like 30 or so, whatever count it is that he had 2 minutes ago or whatever, is not too hard for TaToH to fight back. So wow, TaToH's pushback over here is extremely strong. He's managed to get yet another castle on the left-hand side. And here comes the bombard cannon. Should be going down to the Karambit Warriors though. Yeah, you know what? FreakinAndy is starting to fall apart a little bit. Starting to fall apart at the seams, but TaToH on the other hand, starting to pick up some steam. I'm still loving Karambits in a professional tier game. It seems like TaToH is also loving Karambit for a completely opposite reason, actually. But yeah, we'll see. TaToH's population is just so much higher right now. Archers going out from FreakinAndy. Alright. He's got the Crossman upgrade. It's gonna take a while though. If he wants to make a play for Arbalest, this is just taking so long. The problem for the Arbalister play for Melee is that TaToH gets better Arbalisters. As for these is going to give his archers extra armor. So they are both fully upgraded, but then we have on top of that Pavisa for Italians. Trebuchets for FreakinAndy. TaToH should be able to get the trebuchets down if he sends the bombard cannon over the left-hand side again. He did lose one over here though, so he's being pretty careful about this. Yeah, one thing that's really helping TaToH out over here is the lack of... Actually, really helping FreakinAndy over here is the lack of ballistics for TaToH. For FreakinAndy, sorry. Oh my god, no, yeah, for TaToH. TaToH does not have ballistics, so the Karambit Warriors are getting to the bombard cannons. I don't know about this castle, sir. It seems like you're a little bit too optimistic. There we go. Castle goes down. TaToH keeps momentum over here. He's already 2-1. So that's why FreakinAndy keeps on trying over here. Plus, he's got the Arbalister upgrade on the way. Big problem for FreakinAndy is, even if... Yeah, the 6 relics are fantastic. Plus, TaToH breaking out of the little cage that FreakinAndy has built for him over here. For the Arbalister upgrade to upgrade the units, right? He's only going to start going for... Yeah, and check this out. He got pushed away from gold. He lost the archer range, and he's utilizing the gold that he used to go for the Arbalister upgrade to go for crossbows. So now he's going for Arbalisters once again, but he does not have any gold anymore. So he cannot go for any archers anymore. You knew Condos eat Karambit before this game? He says. And TaToH says, kind of. Well, to be fair though, FreakinAndy's Karambit count was never too high. For the fact that they take only half the population of spades, you know, he was only about like 50% higher in military count compared to TaToH before. And TaToH says that he was actually just hoping for the condottieri play to work out. So FreakinAndy says, Sag, GG, good luck next. And TaToH is going to win that in game number 4. For the final score of 3-1, TaToH moves on to the round of 8, to the quarterfinals. While FreakinAndy gets knocked out of the tournament Let's take a look at the achievements one final time. Yes, this is good. That's a good KD for TaToH, 6-5. For economy, we have a stronger economy for TaToH, collecting about 7,000 extra resources, and then we see faster uptimes to the feudal and castle ages for TaToH, and then for society, a higher worker count for FreakinAndy for the peak worker count, but towards the end of the game it went lower and lower, and TaToH started picking up some steam over here, so it was going to keep on getting further ahead in worker count compared to FreakinAndy. That was a very peculiar last game, for sure, and you just gotta wonder what would have been the case if FreakinAndy first off had gone for Elite Karambit, because there is not such a thing as Elite Condottiere, right? So he was going for standard Karambits against Condottiere, which are from the get-go, like fully upgraded Condottiere, that makes sense. Without the Elite upgrade, it was kind of rough, and the numbers were certainly not favorable as FreakinAndy taking the engagement against the Condottiere. You only ever had about 30 to 50% extra units, despite the fact that they take half the population space. But I guess that's going to be a question for another day, and you know, after TaToH actually having the Italians work out over here in this game pretty well for him, might be tempted to go for Italians again in the future, in the later stages of the tournament, and we might get a rematch between Malay and Italians, and we might get an answer to that question. Regardless though, rip game number 5, it is the way it is. Let's go back.